isolation is quite a critical component, and therefore you would imagine that people are feeling much more of a group by using the internet. The problem is that the intimacy is an illusion, that you are not really friends with the people that you're communicating with. They wouldn't know you if they passed you in the street. And more importantly, do they have your best interests at heart? I think the key thing in a recession is that when money is tight, consumers revert to the brands that they trust. It's very tribal, and they go for very strong brand loyalty. And frankly, if money is very tight, you want to make sure that the money you're paying goes on products that are worth it. It has a very detrimental effect on relationships. Any children that are in those kinds of situations get very mixed messages about the appropriateness of such behaviour, and they can have long-lasting damage themselves. So it's vital that people who can't control their temper do get clinical help. Over time, we've regressed to becoming like children, and we want to be happy and we want it now.
Right. Yeah. No, I recognise that, because that's what I'm like.
It is okay to be sad occasionally. It is okay. Life can't be lived on this permanent upward trajectory. The whole setup was incredibly controlled, so not only his performance, but who was in the audience, the fact that journalists had to wait in a hotel somewhere else, very stage managed, very controlling, and of course this is someone who lived his whole life in a very controlling way. The long-term damage of abusing alcohol, you're actually going to get to the point where you'll be killing the nerve cells. David Cameron put in a very measured performance. He knew that he had to really fight for his political life as well. We, the electorate, have begun to project onto Clegg anything we want to see, because we actually haven't got that much more information. It's almost like the Obama factor 18 to 24 months ago.
If you didn't get involved in a displacement activity, what would happen?
You become incredibly stressed, you become incredibly anxious, and probably very unpleasant to be around.
So actually, those displacements, whatever they are, even if they're annoying, are quite a good thing.
They make it bearable for you to be with yourself, for you to be with your stress, and for other people to be around you, yes. No, thank you, I'm quite happy.
You sure? Really?
I've got my hair.
Would you rather have the real deal?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, come on, have a good plot.
Thank you.
There you are.
Children and adolescents, they are innately sexually curious. They do have an innate curiosity about their own genitalia, about sexual activity, but sometimes they're being exposed to it far too young. And we have to remember that we're talking about an incredibly vulnerable and fragile group of people. There are other people who, for example, might be off work, they have very bad backs, they have difficulties walking, but that could be because, for example, they might be incredibly overweight, and I don't hear the government saying lose weight or lose your benefits. Why should very fragile, very vulnerable sections of society be targeted in this way? I think it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how therapy works and what these people really need.